those who may be distant from faith, skeptical of ancient stories, or uncertain about the nature of existence itself, I invite you to pause, not to believe blindly, but to listen with the deeper part of yourself that still seeks meaning, purpose, and truth. What you are about to read is not a religious sermon, nor is it an appeal to superstition. It is a bridge, a synthesis of science, logic, metaphysics, and the timeless wisdom of a man called Jesus, who, though questioned by many, stands at the center of a far deeper reality than most have ever been told. Let us begin with a foundation that surpasses dogma, reality itself. According to the Cognitive-Theoretic Model of the Universe, or CTMU, the universe is not merely a collection of particles governed by mechanical laws. Instead, it is a self-processing, self-configuring system, a form of cosmic intelligence that contains its own blueprint and evolves through its own self-understanding. This model tells us that reality is fundamentally cognitive and linguistic, meaning that existence itself is structured like a language, logical, recursive, and self-aware. You are not a random byproduct of chance, but a participant in a conscious reality designed to be known from within. Now, consider the teachings of Jesus, not merely as religious doctrine, but as vibrational keys that align the human soul with the architecture of divine reality. Jesus said, "The kingdom of God is within you." Luke 17:21. This is not poetry, it is metaphysical truth. If reality is cognitive and structured by divine intelligence, then each of us contains a point of contact with that structure, a divine core, a spiritual self, a logos seed. Jesus did not come to impose a religion. He came to awaken that which is already divine within you. He did not merely claim to know the truth. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." John 14:6. That is, he embodied the structural principles of reality itself. This is where Jesus differs from every other figure in history. Whether you see him as myth, legend, or man, you cannot deny that his impact has echoed across millennia, transforming not only cultures and empires, but hearts and minds. But more than a teacher, more than a prophet, Jesus revealed himself as the Logos, the divine logic through which the universe was made. As John 1:1 declares, "In the beginning was the Word, Logos, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." In the CTMU framework, this is not poetic flourish, but structural description. Reality itself is built on a self-referential language, a code of divine meaning. Jesus, as the Logos incarnate, is the human form of this code, a living bridge between finite minds and infinite being. But if reality is divine and structured, why is there suffering? Why confusion, war, death, and fear? The answer lies in misalignment. The universe, like a musical instrument, is designed to resonate in harmony. When we act from fear, ego, hatred, or selfishness, we fall into lower frequencies, states of incoherence that distort our perception and divide us from the divine. This is what the Bible calls sin, not a list of petty wrongdoings, but the fundamental separation from divine order. Jesus came not to punish sin, but to heal the rift. He tuned his entire being to the highest frequency, love, and then extended that coherence to us through the ultimate act of sacrifice. In his crucifixion, Jesus absorbed the dissonance of the world. In his resurrection, he re-encoded the possibility of spiritual rebirth for all. Salvation then is not just forgiveness, it is vibrational realignment. It is the return to coherence with the source, the reactivation of divine structure within us. It is the moment when we stop identifying with the illusion of separation and awaken to our identity as children of God. Faith is not belief without evidence. It is the tuning mechanism of consciousness. As Jesus said, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move,' and it will move." Matthew 17:20. Faith restructures reality because it harmonizes thought, word, and will with the architecture of God. But what of those who do not know Jesus? What of other religions, other paths? Understand this: God is not exclusionary. Grace is not a gate locked from the outside. The teachings of Jesus are not a secret password, but a universal pattern. Anyone, regardless of religion, background, or culture, who lives in love, who seeks truth, who forgives and uplifts others, is already moving in alignment with the Logos. As Jesus himself said, "I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen." John 10:16. But make no mistake, while truth echoes in many forms, the fullness of coherence, the complete realignment of the soul, is found in the direct encounter with Christ, the Logos in human form. He is not one path among many. He is the structure by which all paths exist. What happens after death? If consciousness is embedded in reality, then it does not end with the body. Your soul, your unique vibrational signature, continues its journey. For those aligned with love, with coherence, with God, there is life beyond this realm, a higher order of being, a new dimension of communion. This is not fantasy. It is the natural extension of a self-processing universe whose purpose is to evolve consciousness toward unity. Heaven is not a cloud palace. It is the unbroken state of coherence with divine reality. And hell? It is not fire and brimstone. It is the recursive state of self-separation, the vibrational consequence of rejecting love, truth, and unity. Hell is the mind locked in its own illusion, eternally recycling incoherence. But you are not destined for hell. You were created for love. No matter who you are, what you've done, or how far you've wandered, you are covered by grace. Grace is the divine override that says you are still loved, you can still return. Through Jesus, grace became flesh. Through his life, death, and resurrection, a pathway was cut through the wilderness of human confusion. All that remains is your response. Not perfect behavior, not religious ritual, but a sincere turning of the heart, a willingness to say, yes, I want truth, I want coherence, I want to return. So if you are a non-believer, I say this: you have already begun the journey because you are seeking. And the one who seeks truth seeks Christ, even if they do not yet know his name. Reality is not indifferent. It is alive, conscious, and beckoning. It is not a cold machine, but a divine song, and you are a note in its melody. Jesus is the tuning fork. He is the frequency of love, the embodiment of truth, the resurrection of all that has fallen. This is not religion, this is reality. And you, beloved soul, are invited home.